So, who loves Brendan Fraser? I know you all love Brendan Fraser. He's one of the nicest guys in all of Hollywood. And when he first really broke out into superstardom in the early '90s with things like School Ties and Encino Man, it was evident that he was going to go on to do really good things. But despite being a really prolific and a really likable guy, we never really associated him with doing truly great performances. Although he has done some good films, the performances themselves were never really great, especially in the early 2010s when he fell into a slump into obscurity. Like, yeah, we never really knew that Fraser could really do something great. Enter the Whale from 2022. It is directed by Darren Aronofsky, who's best known for doing The Wrestler and Requiem for a Dream, two really good films. And The Whale is based on a play, and when I was watching it, it kind of reminded me almost a bit of like an Ingmar Bergman sort of piece. I know that's really high praise, but yeah, it reminded me of it. Is it as good as a typical Ingmar Bergman piece? I wouldn't say. Just because while the performances are at that caliber, the material and the way that everything is directed, the directing that's also okay. But it's just the way that the writing was handled that I thought was, it could have been better. It was a little bit flimsy at times. And I thought that Darren Aronofsky, having made such good films in the past, that he should have changed some bits for the better, because we all know that he is really capable of it. But nobody in the world can deny, like, I know that the movie has its fair share of haters, but nobody can deny the great that Fraser does in this. Despite wearing a fat suit, he ultimately conveys so much through his face and through his big eyes. Like, there's a couple of scenes where he doesn't speak, but his facial reactions just say so much. And of course, as one might suspect, we do forget that he's wearing a fat suit. We're just it takes place in one room, it takes place in his apartment, and we're sucked so deep into it that that immersiveness, it's just brilliant. And this is also ultimately a redemption story. Redemption stories, they've been done, but the whole idea of obesity being tied into it, and even if Fraser's character wasn't obese, then this would still be a fascinating piece. It deals with Charlie, who's played by Fraser. He's a reclusive, obese man who is an online writing teacher, and he always has his camera off, and he is really concerned about his well-being, about his image, and he knows that he's just going to die at really any time. And we get to learn a little bit more about his life and his family and what he's gone through in the past. And it's quite sad the way that everything happens. I wouldn't really say that story-wise there's a whole lot that doesn't ring true, but there's just some scenes that really stick out like a sore thumb. The very beginning, for instance. But the performances by not only just by Fraser, but everyone else in the film, like his estranged daughter and his PSW or his nurse. It's never really said whether she's a personal support worker or a nurse, whatever. Hong Chow. They're both equally brilliant in this film, even though his daughter is like, she plays one of those smart rebellious teens. Been there, done that, but we never really get. I mean, we haven't seen it done here before. And when it comes to doing non-original things, you have to make you have to do some variations of it. Make things so that they kind of are somewhat original, and that is pretty much what we get in this. We get unoriginality done right, and despite the movie being really really sad and like you can kind of tell us sometimes it's a bit forced. It everything is earned. Darren Aronofsky and Fraser and Company, they really make everything count. They really try to earn our respect and earn our saddened emotions. Yeah, this is a really good film, and even though it is flawed, it's not badly flawed, if that makes any sense. And yeah, all the good really does outweigh the bad to the point where I will give The Whale 3.5 stars out of 4. Please subscribe.